I am Ali Murat Gürtuna, and uh, I graduated from University of Aberdeen in 2014. I got my master's degree from Aberdeen in strategic studies under the Department of Political Science and International Relations. So, yeah, I started in 2013 in September, and it lasted a year. Then I graduated in September 2014.
Th-
Now I'm banker. I'm working in Citibank Turkey as a country sanctions officer. I mean, we can say I'm a compliance officer. Yeah, that's all I think for the introduction.
Thank you very much. And can you tell me about your decision to attend University of Aberdeen and what factors influenced your choice?
Well, in fact, when I was thinking, to study master's degree, so I was thinking the universities in the UK, but I was thinking Scotland particularly, and also I was thinking to study in University of Aberdeen specifically because my aim was to study security studies, strategic studies, so which is the the subfield of international relations, as you know, and University of Aberdeen had very decent master's program in security studies, in strategic studies. So this is why I applied for that program. So then I was accepted. So, the curriculum of the program was quite attractive. So, it was including both theoretical and the practical courses. So this is why I started in University of Aberdeen.
Thank you. And what were some of your favorite courses during your university years there?
Well, at that time, so we had only four courses. Uh, the first two one in it was in the first term,
Yeah.
and the other two are in the second term. So the first term was consisting of theoretical courses, and the second term was more practical. So I mean, I love all of them, but probably the content of the nuclear courses, the nuclear doctrines, and the nuclear theory. So they were all attractive, and I love all of them. Uh, you know, we presented, some uh, about the nuclear doctrines. So we presented the nuclear programs of the some countries. So this is why that was more contemporary. So this is why I like them. Yeah, I can say the courses about the nuclear issues was my favorite course.
Thank you very much. And were there any particular challenges or obstacles that you faced as a student at University of Aberdeen? And how did you overcome them?
Well, good question. So now I'm trying to remember what kind of challenges did I face. So probably that was about the differences that I observed when I compare with my home country. So because I gained my bachelor's degree from Istanbul Bilgi University in Turkey, and you know, probably the first 2 months of my master's degree uh, was a bit difficult. So it was like a transition period for me because, as I said, I had an opportunity to observe the differences between my bachelor's degree and also master's degree. Uh, but that first 2 months, so it didn't last too long. So after 2 months, so as I remember, so I feel very lucky because I mean I was quite happy to be member of that class, and I was actively participating in the class discussions. So I mean, yeah, as I said, that was a transition period for me, and then I started to adapt myself. So I had an opportunity to observe that new structure, and I must confess that that structure was quite different when I compare with the higher education in Turkey. So I mean, even grade system was different. So in Aberdeen, so the grades were over 20. So,
Yes,
but I don't know, it is still same,
it
but
is still the same.
it is okay. So, but it was different in Turkey, but it was fun. It was really fun.
Yes, thank you. And did you engage in any student organization or societies?
Unfortunately, no. I mean, I didn't engage any student club, but so because I was mostly focusing on the courses, so and I didn't want to lose my focus on this. But to be honest, it was a mistake. It was a mistake because I could have managed both of them at the same time. But as I said, I didn't want to lose my focus.
Yeah,
But probably, yeah, that was a mistake. I could have managed both. I mean, both the students' clubs and also my responsibilities in the program.
I understand. Are there any lifelong friendships or connections that you made at University of Aberdeen?
Yes, yes, we are still in connection with our friends from the class, from my class, and so I mean, as that was the strategic studies class, so we are still asking, some questions about the contemporary politics whenever some political incidents occurred in
Yeah,
our countries. So, and we also exchange our views about some opportunities in the private industry. We can also send some vacancies in different sectors that may fall into our expertise that we gained in Aberdeen. Yeah, we are still in contact.
thank you. And what were your career aspirations while attending University of Aberdeen?
Uh, Before I studied in University of Aberdeen, so my aim was to be a diplomat. I mean, so my target was becoming a diplomat. But so then it changed because I came back to Turkey, and of course there were some, political reasons. So some political motivations behind of this change, and I also prefer to try different opportunities. So I received an interview uh, invitation from my current employer, Citibank Turkey. So, I mean, yeah, as I remember, I was not reluctant for corporate life, and I thought that I can use my, theoretical knowledge that I gained in both my bachelor's degree and also postgraduate degree in Aberdeen. So this is why I started in Citibank Turkey, and I became a banker.
Thank you very much. That's very interesting. And what are some key factors that kept you motivated as a student?
Uh, well, so it's a good question. As I remember, I mean, the classes were quite educative. So, I mean, I have very decent friends from academic perspective. I had very also decent professors. So, I mean, for example, Jim Wiley, I don't know you personally know him, but so he was the director of the program in strategic studies. And he was there since 1978. So, I
Oh,
mean, the program itself was founded during the Cold War. So, and the other professors were also good. So, I mean, all of these things keep me always motivated. in the program. So so this is why I always try to develop myself. So I learned a lot from my friends at class because their background were also uh, quite good. So yeah, that was fun and that was very beneficial environment for me.
Thank you very much. And the next question is, could you please describe your position and responsibilities at Citibank?
Okay, well, I am country sanctions officer for Turkey in Citibank. So this is my recent position. I was promoted that position in, yeah, 2023 last year in March, and primarily I am responsible to make sure that the company comply with the sanctions, with international sanctions, all applicable sanctions. So therefore, I have some primary tasks. So I have to keep the track of the current sanctions, and also I need to ensure that the bank's operation comply with the sanctions rules and requirements. And I am also responsible from evaluating the bank's exposure to sanctions risk. And I'm also responsible to suggest some measures in order to mitigate the risk that we identify. And another another task is to draft some policies and the procedures which will be related to sanctions processes of the bank. So, and of course, I need to deliver some trainings about the sanctions
Mhm.
in order to increase the awareness of the employees. And maybe what can I say further? And I am also responsible to monitor the screening of the transactions. So in those transactions, I need to identify whether there is a risk from sanctions perspective.
That's very
Yeah.
interesting. Thank you. And throughout your whole career, what were some of the most challenging moments and how did you overcome them?
Well, I mean, I don't remember some, a tangible, challenging moment for my career. I mean, because there, of course, there were some challenging moments as the nature of my job, of course, but I don't want to consider those moments as a challenging ones because, so it is already expected. I mean, having some, the challenging stuff is a expected thing in my career. So, but however, working in a multinational organization may be sometimes very challenging. Uh, of course, there are some balances that you need to be very careful. And I think this is about the human, not about the job itself. And so, so this is why you need to balance the relationship between, your function and the other people. You need to also balance the relationship between your department and other departments. And I think this is more about being able to manage the relationship among the people. And this is the most challenging thing in the corporate environments. Yeah.
It's very interesting. Thank you. And what are some of the unique skills and lessons that you learned as a student during your student years?
Good question. I can say, so what kind of skills that I gain in University of Aberdeen? So for example, I had already presentation skills before I studied in Aberdeen, but of course I developed this skill. So, but more importantly, I learned to look at the incident from different perspectives, and I learned to be more analytical person in University of Aberdeen in my master's degree. So, and these kind of analytical skills that I gained, so of course that contributed to my career, and it also developed my mindset and the way of thinking. And I saw the advantages of being more analytical, particularly in solving the complex cases in my professional career. Because as a compliance officer, you are always coming across some complex cases, complicated cases. So this is why you need to be more analytical. And I can say I gained that skill in University of Aberdeen.
Thank you very much. And so, university is a stressful time for students. Do you have any advice for students struggling with stress?
Well, I can recommend them. I mean, so just, I mean, they need to deal with the courses and the social life at the same time. Okay. I mean, but uh, they can easily handle with the courses by studying very hard. But the more important thing is to be more social. So this is why if they can manage to be more social, so it will automatically bring another advantage. They will also handle the stressful environment. So this is why I can recommend them to be more social, so to develop their network, and I can also recommend them to maintain and establish a very decent relationship with their professors. So because the university life uh, has, some uh, features like from social and the academic perspective. So this is a unique thing. So you cannot spare them. So this is why they need to learn, be more social, and also they need to work very hard. And I
Thank,
think therefore they will be able to handle that stressful environment.
thank you very much. And could you please describe your time as an intern at the Turkish embassy in Tirana?
Okay. Yes, that was very unique experience. So that was my first experience, by the way, because I mean I didn't work before my experience in Turkish embassy in Albania, and it was not very long. It was just yeah, just 3 weeks or a month. So it was like a civil service. Uh, so as I remember, I applied for the intern position in Turkish embassy in Albania. So I mean, the Balkans were quite attractive thing for me. So this is why uh, I preferred that location. And I mean, at that time, as I said before, I was aiming to be a diplomat. So this is why I wanted to see the diplomatic environment. So because I wondered how it looks like, so how the diplomatic environment looks like. So then I worked, yes, approximately 3 weeks in the embassy. The first week was in the consular section. So this is why I had an opportunity to see some, business as usual in the consular section, like dealing with the Turkish citizen and also Albanian citizen who want to travel to Turkey. Then I was moved to embassy section, and the things were more political. So I joined some, invitations. Yeah, that was very fun, very beneficial, and also educated.
Yeah. Thank you very much. And do you have any advice for students who are applying to companies like Citibank for internships or graduate schemes? What companies like Citibank are looking for in students?
Well, so I mean, Citi is a multinational organization, and of course, there are other multinational organizations in banking industry. So Citi is one of them. So if the students, if the young generation, if they are willing to apply for intern position, or I mean, uh, or long-term position, so I can recommend them to have a motivation letter while they are applying, and they need to know why they want to work in such multinational organization and why they want to work in that industry. So, I mean, if we are talking from the banking perspective, so the candidate should know why why they want to be banker, and why they will specifically choose that area. I mean, my area is compliance. So, I mean, that friends also, they will also choose a specific department. So this is why they need to know why they are choosing that department and also that company. But as I said, they need to have a motivation letter, and they need to express themselves in the interview. They need to explain why they aim, why they want to work in that company and in that industry.
Thank you very much. If you could go back in time and would you give, so would you change anything about your experience at University of Aberdeen?
Well, good question. So I think it is also related one of your previous questions. Probably I could have joined in any student club, in one of the student club, of course, because I didn't join. It was mistake. Probably I could have joined in one of the student club.
Thank you. And the last question is, would you give any advice to your younger self, not particularly at University of Aberdeen, maybe when you were a student at other universities as well?
Uh, well, good question. So probably, I mean, this is also about my previous answers. So being more social and being able to maintain and establish a decent relationship with the professors and also your friends is an important thing. I mean, yeah, my ultimate recommendation would be uh, maintaining and establishing a good relationship with your friends and the professors. I mean, briefly, we can say you need to always have a good network for a good career and for also a good social environment.